The teller sneered and dropped her ID like trash. The manager called security without even asking her name. No one knew the woman they humiliated controlled a $7 billion deal. But they were about to find out, because this CEO didn't raise her voice. She simply reached into her purse and ended their future in silence. The lobby was quiet, too quiet for what had just happened. Amara Whitfield, 39, adjusted her blazer as she bent down to retrieve her government-issued ID from the cold marble floor. It hadn't slipped. It had been dropped, deliberately, by a teller who hadn't even bothered to hide her disdain. "Ma'am," the teller barked, "we don't tolerate fake identification. This looks printed." The room had gone still. Every eye in the bank turned toward the black woman standing at counter 4. No one said a word. No one came to her defense. Not the guard in the corner. Not the assistant manager peeking from behind the printer. Just silence and suspicion. But Amara didn't flinch. She stood upright, dusted off her license, and placed it calmly on the counter again. "I'm here to initiate a certified transfer from my company's main account," she said evenly. "The documents are ready." The teller didn't budge. Instead, she waved over a manager, a thin woman with a clipboard and a condescending smile that said, "You don't belong here." "What kind of transfer?" the manager asked, eyes narrowed. "International corporate," Amara replied. The manager scoffed. "That's cute, but we'll need to verify everything. You people always get creative." "You people." The words hit harder than the dropped ID. Still, Amara's voice didn't rise. Her breath stayed steady, her posture exact. She had learned long ago that power doesn't always need volume. She reached into her bag and pulled out a leather folder. Inside, documents signed by her legal team, routing numbers, wire instructions, and then she flipped open her ID badge. It read, "Amara Whitfield, CEO, Whitfield Technologies, Inc." The room shifted. The teller's mouth parted slightly. The manager's clipboard dropped a little, and the silence turned into awkward tension. But Amara wasn't done. She pulled out her phone and, in full view of the stunned bank staff and confused onlookers, made one quiet call. "Hi, Roland. Put the deal on hold." "Yes. All $7.3 billion. Tell the Japanese board I'll explain later." Then she looked up. "I came here out of convenience," she said, locking eyes with the manager. "Now I realize that was a mistake." The manager stammered. "Miss Whitfield, please, we had no idea." Amara raised one hand, just slightly, and the manager froze. "I won't file a complaint. I won't post this online. I won't issue a press release," Amara said. "But the partnership's off, and I'll be transferring our corporate accounts to another institution immediately." And with that, she walked out, heels clicking like a gavel in a courtroom. No drama, no confrontation, just cold, surgical rejection. That night, her silent exit made headlines, not because she complained, but because she didn't. The international partner released a statement about a sudden shift in strategic direction, but insiders knew. The whisper in boardrooms was clear. A $7.3 billion deal collapsed because one bank couldn't treat a black woman with basic respect. The teller was quietly let go. The manager reassigned. The bank issued a weak apology, blaming internal miscommunication. But the damage was done. Whitfield Technologies surged in media coverage. Amara declined all interviews, and when a journalist finally caught up with her at a conference, all she said was, "I didn't end the deal out of emotion. I ended it because any company tied to a system that treats me like that will eventually treat my employees the same." That line became a case study in leadership seminars, because sometimes revolution doesn't need fists or hashtags. Sometimes all it takes is walking away. If you believe respect shouldn't depend on appearances, comment "dignity over dollars" below. Like, share, and subscribe to hear more stories where silent power speaks louder than hate.